might think you are being a good person by not caring about money, by feeling guilty when you have more than others, that you're working against the system, by downplaying your desires for abundance. But what you're actually doing is blocking the flow. You're telling the universe that you're not worthy of receiving. You're creating a ceiling on what is possible for you. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. And today we're going to talk about something that most people never talk about. Something that operates in the shadows and hides beneath the surface, that sabotages your abundance without you even knowing it is there. We're going to talk about money shame. I have found that money shame is one of the most pervasive and least discussed blocks to abundance. It is the guilt you feel about wanting more. It is the embarrassment you carry about your financial situation, whether you have too little or too much. It is the judgment you place on yourself for caring about money at all, for seeking it out, for wanting it. It's the secret belief that there is something wrong with you for desiring wealth, comfort, security, and freedom. You probably can look at the comments. Somebody's going to make a comment about me doing money videos. We get them all the time. I have continually been shamed for doing these money activations. Here's what makes money shame so insidious. It hides. It disguises itself as humility. It masquerades as spirituality. It pretends to be a virtue. You might think you are being a good person by not caring about money, by feeling guilty when you have more than others, that you're working against the system, by downplaying your desires for abundance. But what you're actually doing is blocking the flow. You're telling the universe that you're not worthy of receiving. You're creating a ceiling on what is possible for you. Today I'm going to help you understand where this shame comes from, how it operates in your life, and most importantly, how to release it. In the second half, I will guide you through a powerful meditation to clear this shame from your body, from your energy field, from your subconscious programming. So take a breath and settle in. Let's start by defining what we are working with. Money shame is a complex of emotions, beliefs, and physical sensations that arise in relationship to money. It includes guilt, which is the feeling that you have done something wrong. It includes embarrassment, which is the feeling of being exposed or judged. It includes unworthiness, which is the deep belief that you do not deserve abundance. And it includes judgment, both the judgment you fear from others and the judgment you place on yourself. Money shame shows up in different ways for different people. For some, it is shame about not having enough, the embarrassment of not being able to afford things, the humiliation of debt, the fear of being seen as a failure. For others, it is shame about having more than others, the guilt of success, the discomfort of wealth, the worry that people will think you are greedy, selfish, or out of touch. And for many people, it's a shame about wanting more in the first place, the belief that desiring money makes you materialistic, the idea that spiritual people should not care about wealth, the judgment that wanting abundance means you are shallow, superficial, or morally compromised. I've been called those exact names in my comments, saying that I'm being superficial or too materialistic in my comments when I talk about money. All of these are forms of money shame. All of them create resistance in your energy system. All of them block the flow of abundance into your life, and all of them can be cleared. Money shame is not something you were born with. Babies do not come into this world feeling guilty about abundance. Children do not naturally believe that wanting things is wrong. This shame was installed in you. It was programmed into your subconscious by your family, your culture, your religion, your education, and your experiences. Understanding where it came from is the first step to releasing it. It may be the reason that you're not receiving the abundance. I've met people that have never felt abundance, and when we got to the root of it, it was because they were afraid and they felt this money shame. So let's start with family programming. Think about the messages you received about money growing up. What did your parents say about wealthy people? What did they say about your family's financial situation? What happened when money was tight? What happened when you asked for things? Maybe you heard things like money doesn't grow on trees. Maybe you were told that rich people are greedy or dishonest. Maybe you sensed that talking about money was taboo, something shameful that should not be discussed openly. Maybe you watched your parents fight about finances and internalized the message that money causes pain. Maybe you were made to feel guilty for wanting things, for needing things, for costing money. These messages sink deep. They become part of your operating system, even if you consciously disagree with them now. They're still running around in the background, shaping your relationship with money without your awareness. Then there is religious and spiritual programming. Many of us grew up with teachings that explicitly or implicitly demonized wealth. Money is the root of all evil. It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. Blessed are the poor. Attachment to material things is the source of suffering. Now, I want to be clear, there is wisdom in many of these teachings. When properly understood, attachment and greed do cause suffering. But the way these messages are often interpreted creates a toxic relationship with abundance. They create the belief that wanting money is spiritually inferior, that being poor is somehow more virtuous than being wealthy, that caring about material things makes you less enlightened. This creates an impossible bind. You live in a physical world where money is necessary for survival, for security, for freedom, for opportunity. But you've been taught that wanting these things makes you a bad person, so you want money, but you feel guilty for wanting it. You pursue wealth, but you sabotage yourself because you believe you should not have it. You receive abundance, but you cannot enjoy it because you feel ashamed, so you lose it. Cultural programming adds another layer. We live in a society with deeply conflicted messages about money. On one hand, we are told to succeed, to achieve, to accumulate. On the other hand, we are told not to be too successful, not to show off, and not to make others feel bad. We celebrate wealth, but we resent the wealthy. We admire success, but we tear down those who achieve it. The tall poppy syndrome, the suspicion of anyone who has more. The assumption that wealth must be obtained through exploitation, crime, or luck, rather than contribution and value. You ever looked at a really nice car and then made some comment in your head, oh, I bet they ripped off the bank, or I bet that woman just received a big alimony check? These cultural undercurrents create shame around success. They make it dangerous to be visible in your abundance. They teach you to hide, to downplay, to apologize for having. And then there is your personal experiences. Maybe you were ridiculed for being poor as a child. Maybe you were rejected for being from the wrong side of town. Maybe you experienced financial trauma, a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, a devastating loss. Maybe you watched someone you love be destroyed by money problems. Maybe you yourself made financial mistakes that you have never forgiven yourself for. All of these experiences leave marks. They create associations in your nervous system between money and pain. They encode shame into your cells. And until you consciously address them, they continue to run your financial life from the shadows. Money shame does not sit quietly in your subconscious. It actively shapes your behavior, your decisions, and your results. Let me walk you through some of the most common ways it shows up. As I describe these, notice which ones resonate with you. Notice where you feel something in your body. The first manifestation is under-earning. This is when you consistently make less money than you're capable of making. You undercharge for your services. You do not ask for raises. You take jobs that are beneath your skill level. You work harder than everyone else, but somehow never get ahead. Underneath this pattern is often a belief that you do not deserve more, that asking for more would be greedy, that you should be grateful for what you have and not want more. The second manifestation is overspending and self-sabotage. This is when money comes in but immediately flows back out through unconscious spending, bad investments, or financial disasters. It's as if there is a thermostat in your subconscious. that will not let you rise above a certain level. When you start to accumulate, something happens to bring you back down. Underneath this pattern is often a belief that you should not have more than others, that being wealthy would make you a bad person, that you need to stay at a certain level to belong to be accepted, to be loved. Maybe you have a belief that you won't be loved if you make too much money. The third manifestation is hiding your wealth. This is when you have money, but you're uncomfortable letting anyone know. You drive a modest car, even though you could afford something nicer. You live below your means, not out of wisdom, but out of fear of being seen. You deflect compliments about your success. You change the subject when money comes up. You're afraid that if people knew how much you have, they would judge you, resent you, or want something from you. The fourth manifestation is hiding your poverty. This is the flip side. You pretend to have more than you do. You put things on credit cards to maintain appearances. You avoid situations where your lack of money might be exposed. You lie about your financial situation. You feel deep shame about where you actually are and believe that if people knew the truth, they would think less of you. The fifth manifestation is guilt about spending on yourself. This is when you can spend freely on others, but spending on yourself feels wrong. You buy gifts easily, but cannot buy yourself something nice without justifying it, minimizing it, or feeling guilty afterward. You put everyone else's needs before your own financial needs. Underneath this is often a belief that you matter less than others, that your desires are not important, that taking care of yourself financially is selfish. The sixth manifestation is difficulty receiving. This shows up as awkwardness around gifts, around compliments, around payment for your work. When someone tries to give you something, you deflect. You say you cannot accept it. You immediately try to give something back. You feel uncomfortable being on the receiving end of generosity. This is money shame in its purest form, the belief that you're not worthy of receiving, that taking makes you a burden, that you must always give more than you get. The seventh manifestation is comparison and judgment. This goes both ways. You might constantly compare yourself to those who have more and feel inadequate, ashamed of where you are, or you might compare yourself to those who have more and then judge them, assuming they are greedy, corrupt, or undeserving. Both of these are expressions of money shame. Both of them keep you stuck in painful relationships with abundance. Which of these patterns showed up for you? Maybe several of them, maybe all of them to some degree. That is okay. That is normal. This just means you're human living in a world that has given you very confused messages about money. The important thing is that you are here now, willing to look at this, willing to change. I want to be very clear about something. Money shame is not just an uncomfortable emotion. It has real consequences. It costs you in tangible, measurable ways. It costs you financially. Every time you undercharge, you leave money on the table. Every time you sabotage your success, you lose opportunities. Every time you cannot receive, you block abundance that was trying to reach you. Money shame creates a ceiling on what you allow yourself to have. You cannot rise above that ceiling no matter how hard you work. It costs you emotionally. Shame is one of the most painful emotions a human can experience. It's heavier than guilt. It is more isolating than sadness. It eats at you from the inside. Living with chronic money shame means living with chronic emotional pain, even if you learn to numb yourself to it. This was a big breakthrough for me. That's why I'm mentioning it now. It costs you relationally. Money shame makes you hide. It makes you lie. It makes you avoid situations and people. It creates distance between you and others because you cannot be fully authentic when you are carrying shame. You cannot be intimate when you're hiding parts of yourself. It costs your dreams. There are things you want to do, to create an experience, to contribute. Many of those things require resources. When money shame limits your abundance, it limits your capacity to live fully. It keeps you small. It keeps you playing safe. And it costs you your peace. You cannot be at peace when you are at war with yourself. You cannot be at peace when part of you wants abundance and another part judges you for wanting it. Money shame creates internal conflict. It creates suffering. It robs you of the ease and flow that is your birthright. Before we move into the clearing work, I want to address something directly. There's a belief in many spiritual circles that true enlightenment means transcending material concerns, that caring about money is unspiritual, that poverty is somehow more holy than wealth. I want to offer you a different perspective. Money is not inherently spiritual or unspiritual. It is neutral. It is energy. It is a tool. What matters is your relationship with it. What matters is the consciousness you bring to it. You can be wealthy and deeply spiritual. You can be poor and completely unconscious. The amount of money you have says nothing about your level of awareness. In fact, I would argue that clearing your money shame is spiritual work. It requires you to examine your conditioning. It requires you to question your beliefs. It requires you to release judgment. It requires you to expand your capacity to receive. It requires you to trust the universe. All of these are deeply spiritual practices. The universe is abundant. Look around. Stars beyond counting, grains of sand beyond measuring, leaves on trees, drops in oceans, cells in bodies. Abundance is the nature of reality. Scarcity is the illusion. When you align with abundance, you are aligning with truth. When you feel guilty about abundance, you are buying into a lie. And consider this. What could you do with more resources? How could you serve? How could you contribute? How could you help others? Money in the hands of conscious, caring people creates good in the world. It funds innovation. It supports art. It feeds the hungry. It heals the sick. It educates the young. There is nothing more spiritual than using your resources in service of life. So let go of the idea that wanting abundance makes you unspiritual. Let go of the belief that money and consciousness are opposed. Embrace the truth that you can be wealthy and wise, abundant and aware, prosperous and present. In fact, clearing your money shame may be one of the most important spiritual practices you ever engage in. I want to give you something right now. I want to give you permission. Permission to want more. Permission to have more. Permission to receive more. Permission to enjoy more. You are allowed to want money. You are allowed to want financial freedom. You are allowed to want nice things, comfortable experiences, security for yourself and your family. These desires are not shameful. They are not evident of spiritual failure. They are human. They are natural. They are okay. You are allowed to have more than others. Your abundance does not take from anyone else. There is not a finite pie where your slice means less for someone else. Wealth can be created. Value can be generated. Your prosperity does not cause poverty somewhere else. This is not how energy works. You're allowed to succeed visibly. You do not have to hide. You do not have to downplay. You do not have to apologize for your achievements. Your success can be an inspiration to others rather than a threat. Your abundance can be a demonstration of what is possible rather than something to be ashamed of. You're allowed to receive without immediately giving back. You're allowed to accept a gift and simply say thank you. You're allowed to be paid well for your work. You're allowed to be supported, helped, and provided for. Receiving is not taking. Receiving is completing the flow. I know you might not fully believe these words yet. That is okay. The meditation we're about to do will help them sink deeper. But for now, just consider the possibility that they might be true. Consider the possibility that your money shame is not protecting you. It is not making you a better person. It is just causing you pain and blocking your good. Consider the possibility that you can let it go. Now we're going to move from understanding to experience. The teaching you just heard is valuable, but it is not enough to create lasting change. Information changes your mind. Experience changes your body. And shame lives in your body. Think about it. When you feel shame, where do you feel it? In your thoughts? Partly, but mostly you feel it in your body. Your face flushes, your chest tightens, your stomach drops. You may not even notice. You usually don't. You want to disappear, to hide, to become invisible. These are physical sensations, not just mental concepts. Money shame is stored in your nervous system. It is encoded in your cellular memory. It is held in the tension of your muscles, the constriction of your breathing, the posture of your body. And that is why thinking your way out of it does not work. You have to work with the body. You have to release the shame at that level where it lives. That is what we're about to do. I'm going to guide you through a meditation that will help you locate where the money shame lives in your body, understand its origins, release its grip, and replace it with something better. This is deep work. It is powerful. If you're somewhere you can close your eyes, that is ideal. If not, then you can still do this. Just follow me. Take a breath. A natural breath, nothing forced, and as you exhale, let your body settle. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. Let your belly soften. You are safe here. Nothing is required of you except to be present. Take another breath. And this time as you exhale, imagine you're releasing the day. All the tasks, all the worries, all the things you need to do, just for now, let them go. They will be there when you return. But right now, there's only this moment, only this breath, only this work we're about to do together. Good. Now I want you to bring your attention into your body. Feel the weight of your body against whatever is supporting you. Feel where you make contact with the chair, the floor, and the bed, the seat. Feel the density of your physical form. Feel yourself inhabiting this body. Now I want you to think about money, but I want you to think about it in a specific way. I want you to think about wanting more money, wanting to be wealthier than you are now, wanting abundance, prosperity. Really let yourself want it. Do not censor it. Just feel the waiting. Don't edit. As you feel this wanting, notice what else arises. Is there any discomfort, any tension, any sense of wrongness, any thoughts? Notice if there's a voice that says you should not want this. Any discomfort. Notice if there's a feeling that wanting this makes you greedy or selfish or bad. Notice if there is shame. Where do you feel the shame in your body? Scan your physical form. Is it in your face? That hot flushing sensation of being caught doing something wrong? Is it in your throat? A tightness, a choking, a silence? Is it in your chest? A heaviness, a contraction, a closing? Maybe it's in your stomach, a sinking, churning, nausea. Find where the money shame lives in your body. Good, you found it. Now stay with that sensation. Do not try to change it. Do not try to make it go away. Just be with it. Observe it. Get curious about it. What does it actually feel like? Is it heavy or light? Dense or diffuse? Hot or cold? Does it have a shape, a color, a texture? Does it have movement or is it still? This sensation is old. It's been with you for a long time. You are very used to it. It was not always this strong, but it's been building over years, decades. Layer upon layer of shame deposited in your body, in this place. Every time you were made to feel bad about money, every time you judged yourself, every time you felt embarrassed about your financial situation, every time you felt guilty for wanting more, all of it accumulated here. Here is where it is also true. You are bigger than this sensation. You are the awareness that can notice it. You're the consciousness that can observe it. You contain this shame, but you are not this shame. It is something you carry. It is not something you are. Now I want you to ask this sensation a question, not out loud in your mind. Ask it, where did you come from? When did you first appear? Then wait. Listen. See if any memory surfaces. It might be a specific scene. It might be a general sense of a time period. It might be a face, a voice, a phrase. Just notice what comes. Whatever came to you, that is information. It's one of the roots of this shame. There may be others, but this is one thread we can work with. Just acknowledge it. You do not need to analyze it or figure it out. Just acknowledge that at some point in your past, probably when you were young, you learned there was something shameful about wanting money or things, having money or not having money. You learn that money and shame go together, and your body has been holding that lesson ever since. Now I want you to do something powerful. I want you to speak to that younger version of yourself, the child who first learned this shame. See them in your mind. How old are they? What do they look like? What are they feeling? This child did the best they could. They were trying to make sense of a confusing world. They were trying to fit in, to be good, to be loved. And the message they received was that money is shameful, that wanting makes you bad, that having is dangerous. They took that message in because they did not know any better. They were just a child. I want you to speak to that child now. Tell them, it is not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You were just trying to survive. You were just trying to belong. The messages you received were not true, but you had no way of knowing that. You're not bad for wanting more. You're not greedy for desiring abundance. You're not shameful. You never were. Now I want to tell you, that child, what you wish someone had told you back then. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to have nice things. You are allowed to be wealthy. Money does not make you good or bad. It's just a tool. It's just energy. You can want abundance and still be a good person. You can have prosperity and still be kind, generous, and loving. There is nothing wrong with you. Feel that child receiving these words. Feel them starting to relax. Feel the shame they have been carrying begin to lift. They've been holding this for so long. They've been waiting for permission to let it go. You are giving them that permission now. Now reach out and embrace that child. Hold them close. Let them feel they are safe. They are loved. They're accepted. Exactly as they are. Let them know that wanting abundance is okay. Let them know they do not have to carry the shame anymore. As you hold this child, imagine a warm light beginning to glow in your heart. This is the light of acceptance, the light of forgiveness, the light of unconditional love. Feel it growing brighter, more radiant, warmer. Now let this light expand to fill your entire chest. Let it spread into your stomach, into that place where you were holding shame. Feel the light touching the shame, not fighting it, not forcing it, just shining on it. The shame is beginning to dissolve, like darkness dissolving in light. It cannot maintain its density in the presence of this love. It's softening, loosening, releasing all those years of accumulated shame. Let the light continue to expand up into your throat, clearing any shame you have held about speaking your financial truth, up into your face, holding the hot flush of embarrassment down into your belly, clearing the sinking feeling of unworthiness. Let the light fill every cell of your body. Now I want you to feel what it feels like to be completely free of money shame. Imagine that every last trace of it has dissolved. There's no guilt about wanting more. There's no embarrassment about your situation. There's no judgment of yourself for desiring abundance. Just peace. Just acceptance. There is just openness. From this place of openness, feel how natural it is to want good things for yourself. Feel how okay it is to desire abundance. How your wanting does not make you greedy. It makes you human. It means you're alive. It means you are someone who is willing to receive what life wants to give. Now I want you to see yourself as wealthy, not someday, now in this vision. You have more than enough. You have financial freedom. You have security. You have options. See what your life looks like. See your home. See your daily experience. See the quality of your existence when all this shame is removed. Notice how you feel in this vision. There's no shame here. You're not hiding your wealth. You're not apologizing. You're not worried about what others think. You are simply at peace with your abundance, grateful for it, using it well, sharing it generously. You are not ashamed of it. Feel how free this is, how light this is. This is what is available when you release the money shame. This is what becomes possible when you stop judging yourself for wanting, having, or receiving. This is your birthright. This is your natural state. The shame was the aberration. The peace is the truth. Now, I want you to remember that thousands of people have listened to this meditation. Some are listening right now. Some listened before you. Some will listen after. But all of them in their own moment are doing this same work, clearing their own money shame, releasing their own guilt. And as each person clears their shame, it becomes easier for everyone else. The collective field shifts, the burden lightens. Feel yourself connecting to all these people. Feel the collective healing that is happening. Your clearing helps them. Their clearing helps you. We are not alone in this. We're doing it together across time, across space, in the unified field of consciousness. Now, I want you to make a declaration. You don't have to say it out loud if it doesn't feel right. Declare this with me. I release all shame about money. I release the guilt about wanting more. I release the embarrassment about my financial situation. I release the judgment of myself and others around wealth. I am worthy of abundance. I am allowed to want more. I am allowed to have more. I am allowed to receive freely. Money flows to me easily. I am at peace with abundance. Feel these declarations settling into your body. Not just words in your mind, but truths in your cells. Feel your body reorganizing around these new beliefs. Feel your nervous system calibrating to a new normal. A normal where money shame no longer runs the show. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, release anything that remains, any last trace of shame, any residual guilt, any lingering judgment. Let it all go with this breath. One more breath in through the nose, filling yourself with this new freedom. Now through the mouth, releasing the old patterns. Good. Now gently bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Notice the sounds around you, the feeling in your body, the temperature in the air. Let your eyes gently open if they're closed. Take your time. Return to the day, return to your life, but return as someone different, someone freer, someone lighter. Welcome back. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Compare it to how you felt at the beginning of this. Something has shifted, something has lightened. The shame may not be completely gone. Decades of programming do not always clear in one session. Something has moved, something has opened. Here's what I want you to understand. Clearing money shame is not a one-time event. It's a practice. The shame was installed over years. It may take some time to fully clear. But every time you notice the shame arising, choose not to believe it, you weaken its grip. Every time you give yourself permission to want, to have, and receive, you strengthen new pathways. Every time you refuse to judge yourself for desiring abundance, you reclaim your freedom. So stay vigilant. Watch for the shame when it returns. Become aware of it. Notice when you start to feel guilty about wanting more. Notice when you judge yourself for caring about money. Notice when you compare yourself to others and feel either inferior or superior. These are all signs that the old programming is trying to reassert itself. And in those moments, you have a choice. You can believe the shame or you can remember the truth. The truth is that you are worthy. The truth that wanting abundance is natural. That money shame is a lie. It was told to you, not a reality you have to accept. I encourage you to listen to this again. Maybe not today, but soon. And then again, each time you go through it, you will clear more. You release deeper layers. You become freer. And beyond the meditation, practice permission in your daily life. When you notice yourself wanting something nice, give yourself permission to want it. When you receive a compliment about your success, accept it without deflecting. When you achieve something financial, celebrate it without guilt. When you see someone else doing well, be happy for them, without comparison. These small practices, repeated over time, will transform your relationship with money. Money is not spiritual or unspiritual. It is neutral. It is energy. It is a tool. Your worthiness as a person has nothing to do with your bank balance. You are worthy because you exist. You are worthy because you are an expression of the infinite. You are worthy because worthiness is your nature, not something you have to learn. And remember that the world needs conscious people with resources. The world needs caring people who have the capacity to make a difference. You are increasing your ability to serve. You are expanding your capacity to contribute. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for having the courage to look at this material. Thank you for being willing to feel uncomfortable emotions in service of your growth. It takes bravery. It takes commitment. Not everyone is willing to do that work. Some people will skip this video just because of the title. But you are. Your life is about to change. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who needs it. If you haven't subscribed, now is the time. There's someone in your life carrying money shame right now. Someone feeling guilty about wanting. Someone feeling embarrassed. Let them experience what you just experienced. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to continue this work of transforming your relationship with money and reality itself, join the Reality Revolution community, where we have live, in-person, weekly coaching sessions and exclusive content. We take this and we go deeper. You can find it at school.com, skool.com/reality revolution. You can find the link in the description. There's only a few tickets left for our live in-person event. Now's the time to get one. We have one in Newark, New Jersey on February 27th through March 1st. I would love to meet you and see you there. This event is designed to create an incredible shift in your life into your greatest timeline. You can find a link to the event in the description of this video, or you can go to www.brianscotlive.com/February-2026. You can subscribe to my second channel, The Brian Scott Musical Experience, where I share new music on a weekly basis. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to The Reality Revolution. You felt it. That pull, like you're supposed to be somewhere else. Someone else. Like there's a version of your life that's already happening and you're just watching it from the wrong side of the glass. What if that version isn't somewhere else? What if it's right here, waiting for you to step into it? Not through years of work, not through more information, through a single moment of actual shift. Three days, one room. Everything changes. The East Coast finally has a door, and it's opening on February 27th. The question isn't whether you're ready, it's whether you'll answer.